It's turned out to be a beautiful evening to wind your way to baseball's most beautiful stadium, Safeco Field here in Seattle, and the fans are beginning to show up for the middle game of this three-game series between the Mariners and the San Diego Padres as interleague play begins here tonight with only one more game in interleague play here in Seattle tomorrow afternoon. I'm Dave Niehaus and Bill Kruger, and we welcome you to Safeco Field. The Padres pulling it off last night barely after taking a 9-1 lead. The Mariners made a heck of a run and made a game out of it, 9-7. Right now, let's look at tonight's lineup.
Thank you very much, Dave. Of course, we're starting with the incomparable Ichiro leading off. Brandon hitting second. Beltre at third base hitting third. Griffey, who's been hot as the DH, hitting fourth. Gutierrez, who hit 2 home runs against Mr. Gear last time in center field, hitting fifth. Valentin sixth in left field. Betancourt, your shortstop. Rob Johnson behind the plate. And Ronnie Cedeno at second base hitting ninth. And for the San Diego Padres, Tony Gwynn, that's a pretty familiar name. Of course, it's his son, hitting leadoff and playing in center field. Eckstein at second base hitting second. Hairston at left field hitting third. Adrian Gonzalez, one of the most dangerous hitters in the National League, cleaning up at first base. Kevin Kuzminoff at third. Headley's your DH. Venable in right field. Alfonso's your catcher. And Cabrera, the speedy shortstop, hitting ninth. And on the mound again for the Mariners, that's going to be Brandon Morrill. His third turn. Looks like 85 to 90 pitches. Of course, the key, getting ahead, getting his fastball down the zone, which can reach the high 90s. And, of course, the complementary pitches. The changeup, the slider, needs to introduce him early in the ballgame. Let's take a look at the Mariners on defense. In the outfield, Valentin, Gutierrez, and Ichiro. It's a great throwing outfield. And in the infield, third to first, Beltre, Betancourt, Cedeno, and Russell Branyan. Behind the plate is Rob Johnson, and on the mound, Brandon Morrill.
And here we go as Tony Gwynn steps in to lead it off against the flamethrower. And his first pitch on the way, and it's a little bit inside and low. Ball one. 63 degrees. Wind out of the south at 4 miles an hour. And a fly ball foul back into the stands down the left field line. I think it might be gusting a little bit more than 4 miles an hour. As we looked at it 5 or 6 minutes ago, the flag was pretty well starched out toward left field, and maybe that again will occur. Brandon Morrill on a pitch count of about 95 here tonight. And there's nothing wrong with that, baby. 94-mile-an-hour fastball right there at the knees.
Nice and easy, 94. Must be fun.
And that fastball a little high. Went up a couple of miles an hour to 96 miles an hour. What a God-given gift that is to be able to throw a baseball at that velocity. I don't know, 1 in 10 pitchers maybe get it, maybe even more than that. I think he went around. They make the appeal, and the third base umpire rings him up. So Angel Hernandez calls Tony Gwynn out on the strikes. What was your top speed when you were?
Well, you know what's interesting is the gun, I think, has been enhanced along with the players.
Yeah.
Maybe I should say that, but I came into the game throwing in the low 90s, and I left the game throwing in the 90s, low 90s. So I think I was one of those guys that was above average, but not in this elite class that Morrill's in.
Okay, David Eckstein, the hitter. And Eckstein, a 6-game hitting streak going for himself, takes it a little low. Ball one ball and no strikes. His older brother, Rick, is the Washington Nationals hitting coach. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. And just a great asset to any community he's been in. Anaheim, St. Louis, now, of course, San Diego. And a routine fly ball to right field. I think the one thing that anybody who watches Eckstein can take from him is the right way to play the game.
Plays with unbelievable enthusiasm, and he's the poster child when I go out and speak to groups, because here's a guy that doesn't have any special tool, but yet can be an all-star level player, and I think that sends a message to all kids out there.
Scott Hairston is the hitter now. He's from a very famous baseball family. His granddad at one time won the Negro League's Triple Crown while playing for the Birmingham Barons. So his baseball blood goes way, way back. Strike to him at the knees. 1-1.
And they've missed his bat. He's been a big addition. Last night he made a big difference.
And an easy pop-up. Backpedaling Cedeno. And Ronnie will make the catch. Dangerous one-handed catch. One of these days you're going to drop one of those, kids. Use both hands. Here
exactly
in the third. And here in the first, I should say, 1, 2, 3. From the bottom of the first, no score. Told you about the Mariners in their half of the inning. And let's check their lineup out.
As usual, Ichiro leading off, leading the American League in hitting. Branyan hitting second at first base. Beltre's your third baseman hitting third. Griffey, who's been hot, is your DH in the cleanup spot. Gutierrez, 2 home runs, you remember, against Gear, hitting fifth. Ballantine in left, hitting sixth. Betancourt, your shortstop, 7. Rob Johnson behind the dish is hitting 8th. And Ronnie Cedeno hitting 9th at second base. On the mound for the Padres is Josh Gear. We saw him just 5 days ago and pitched pretty well. Numbers aren't going to jump off the page at you, but the one number that will jump off the page at you is those 16 home runs he's given up. But again, a guy that's not afraid to throw his fastball over the plate.
Usually a guy, and we've said it many times before, doesn't walk many people, does give up a lot of home runs because he's always around the plate.
Worked for Fergie Jenkins' Catfish Hunter, didn't it?
Worked for Robin Roberts, too.
Yeah, exactly. I really believe in that. I mean, that's the one thing. I walked a lot of guys early in my career, and I figured that out and let that defense make plays and keep those walks down.
Ricciero just kind of lays the head of the bat on the ball, and if that's a fair ball, he beats it out. I guarantee you.
You know, he's an amazing artist with the bat. I mean, he can actually, I think, hit the top of the ball and kill it on purpose. I don't know that anybody can do that, but I swear Ichiro can do it. He can do anything he wants, really.
Ichiro got some praise from on high that he doesn't know about today, at least as far as I'm concerned, because I was down on the field talking to Jim Lefebvre, the ex-Mariner manager that got into their first 500 or better season back in '91. I said, what other people think about Ichiro? And Jim said, I don't know about other people. I'll tell you what I think about Ichiro. I said, well, what do you think about Ichiro? He said, I think he's the best player in Major League Baseball. There's a ground ball to second. Quick throw. No way they're going to get him. Another infield hit. A routine ground ball to Eckstein. Made him hurry his throw, and he didn't have a chance.
You know, speed kills. This guy gets out of the box so quickly because he's already moving forward as he swings the bat. Eckstein has to move, doesn't have a strong arm, but I don't think it would have mattered. Ichiro had this thing beat out.
Already his 32nd infield hit, and his next hit will be number 100. And remember, he missed the first 8 games of the year.
And yet on pace to cross the 225 hit mark, even with that.
Russell Branyan. 7 home runs away from his career high, and here it is, the 24th of June. Want to know?
Somebody finally, that being the Mariners, gave him a chance to play every day. Left-handers, right-handers, you're in the lineup, and we see what that's produced.
Jack Zarancic was that man. He had him last year with Milwaukee and said, "I'll let you play, give you at least 500 at bats against all comers, left-handers and right-handers."
And he's looked good against both lefties and righties. He's been pretty consistent.
And that sinker down low and outside.
You know, he's got a pretty healthy dose of strikeouts, but they don't seem to jump off the page at you, do they?
No, because he's got such a good eye and he walks a lot.
And he's been impressive on off-speed pitches. He stays back really well.
And got a changeup on a 2-0 pitch.
That's what I get. I just set him up, didn't I? Stays back great on off-speed. Well, you know, there's a chance where you got kind of a free swing to take and try to rip the fastball, and he pulled the string.
Branyan leads the Mariners, you can see, in walks with 34. And a ground ball rolled to first will move the runner down to second base as Adrian Gonzalez backs up and tags the bag there. So that's what we refer to as a productive out, moving the runner into scoring position. And Adrian Beltre will be the hitter. Beltre's been playing with that very sore left shoulder.
You about got to straitjacket this guy to keep him out of the lineup, and sometimes he'll play to his detriment because he loves to play so much, and you have respect for a guy like that.
A little low. That's outside, ball 2-0. Texas struggling lately. The Rangers have lost 5 in a row, but they're leading Arizona 2-0 in the third down at Chase Field in Phoenix. And that's on the outside corner. 2-1. University of Texas playing LSU in the deciding game. College World Series, and Texas down big 10-4 in the 8th inning in Omaha. The native Texan out there on the mound, Josh Gere. Well, that is time granted that a lot of umpires will not let you have. I know you as a pitcher, that's very frustrating.
Yeah, not a big fan of that late step out.
And a little low.
Pretty clear that Mr. Gere is not going to give in. When he's had fastball counts, he has thrown soft.
Yeah, 77 miles an hour.
2-1 changeup right there.
Full count, 3-2.
Two-one changeup, 3-1 slider.
And down low and in the dirt that time, getting away from Leeser Alfonso, but not far enough for any break to third by Ichiro. And here comes Junior. I thought it was kind of fitting that he got number 5,000 last night in Mariners history. He's hit more home runs than any Mariner in history.
Yeah, 400, and you know the number. It's over 400.
406, I believe now.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you know, he was just so appropriate after the game that this is all about the Mariner organization. It's not about me, and that's really what Ken Griffey's all about. He's about winning, and he's about team.
And he got that ball back too. And I don't know what he gave the man that caught the ball, but he gave him some personalized stuff. And he got the ball, gave it to the Mariners to put in their Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I thought that was real classy. Not surprising.
Too high.
Well, Bud Black said this guy's not afraid. He's throwing a lot of pitches soft and off the strike zone right now. He's going to paint himself into a corner here real quick.
And he drops that one, a change up again on the outside corner.
That's a great pitch. Still going to have to establish fastball at some point.
And that is on the inside corner. Looked like a slider that time.
Yep. Junior, he's had great patience. He'll 30 walks this year. I mean, even though his average doesn't necessarily say a lot, he's had a lot of productive at bats because walks they build rallies.
Up and in. The left-handed batter up there, I don't think they're going to be running here. Even though Ichiro's got great speed out at second.
Everything says this is going to be off speed. He just wanted to show velocity, show fastball there. I think he comes back with something soft.
He thinks he may be going.
Well, he's not particularly quick to the plate. He's got a pretty high leg kick. And as you mentioned, probably just staying put and letting Griff swing the bat.
And way outside, so the Mariners now a situation with the bases loaded, one down, and they're going to have to start taking advantage of these situations. They had bases loaded, nobody out in the second inning last night, and Ronnie Cedeno with 2 outs walked, or they wouldn't have gotten anything. Now after that, Ichiro hit a ball that I swear was fair over the bag at first base, but he didn't get the call. That would have gotten 3 more.
That would have opened the game up and would have changed the game, but unfortunately didn't get the call, and Gaudin tightened it up, and he made some great pitches. He had great stuff last night. He got past that inning. He was nails.
Well, Franklin Gutierrez has had his success against Gaudin. 5 days ago, he had 2 home runs against him down at Petco.
They weren't cheapies either.
No.
El Centro and one up in
the third tier of the Metal Supply Company out there in left field.
He's been coming around. He had a 5-game streak. He's hitting over 300, and boy, just everything about this guy you love, and just the bat coming around. He's a real complete player.
Too high. One and one. It's kind of beginning to mount up on gear a little bit here in the first inning. 24 of them.
And that's important. You want to get the starter out as early as possible, because that's that middle relief guy. That's the guy you want to get to. That's where the games are won.
And that's down low.
Randy Marsh might have squeezed him a fuzz, but you know, he has not shown command. And if you don't show command, you don't get those pitches.
And that's outside. Ball 3. He's got to come in now or give up a run. And if you're Franklin Gutierrez, you've got to be sitting on fastball, although you may get the change. We've seen him throw it behind in the count.
Eventually, you've got it yourself boxed into a corner. I think it's fastball.
And he did get a fastball, and it hits the runner, so the runner is out. And Gutierrez will get a base hit. Runner has to go back to third. Ichiro. Adrian Beltre is out. Ichiro, the ball is dead when it hits him, so Ichiro's got to go back to third base. Franklin Gutierrez is awarded an infield hit. That's good news. Bad news is the Mariners don't get a run.
One of those things. I think Adrian was trying to shield the defender, and just didn't get that back foot out of the way. I mean, that's mostly what you try to do. You try to block his vision. Maybe he'll make a mistake on the ground ball. Didn't quite work.
So Valentin is asked to get the job done here now with 2 outs, but the Mariners can't score on an out. On 1. Careless bat out. Now he's in a big hole, 2 strikes. Valentin with Endy Chavez down, of course. This is his job. He's got as good an opportunity as he'll ever have.
And he's done a pretty nice job. He's made a couple of fantastic defensive plays going into the stands. And his bat has been good.
And a ground ball slowly hit to third. Right there to pick it off and throw him out, Kevin Kuzma now. So the Mariners very frustrated here in the first. With the bases loaded, 1 out, they go away empty-handed and leave 3, and we have no score after 1.
Racer is brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
And welcome back to Safeco Field with Bill Kruger. I'm Dave Niehaus. Mike Blowers has the evening off. We'll be back tomorrow for the final game of this series. A day game tomorrow now with Washburn facing a left-hander by the name of Wade LeBlanc. We have never seen LeBlanc, but we'll get a chance to see him tomorrow afternoon, and then the Mariners begin one heck of a road trip in Los Angeles Friday night. Adrian Gonzalez taking a strike, 0-1 the count. Gonzalez, number 2 in the league in baseball, as a matter of fact, in home runs to Albert Pujols. Pujols has 26, and with his home run last night, Gonzalez has 24. and is fouled back. He also leads the National League in bases on balls with 57. That shows you the respect that he gets. They pitch around him a lot.
That's why the real key for the San Diego Padres is Headley and Kuzmanov. Their progress as hitters is going to make the difference in this team.
One and two. Adrian and his brother, who is an extra man in the outfield, are both San Diego natives, so they're getting a chance to play their dream at home.
That's got to be amazing. You and your brother out there playing in the big leagues together.
Not as amazing as father and son, though.
No, you're right. That's not even close. And Homer in the same game, right?
Right. That's right.
And, you know, we would have seen more of that in '91, and Senior got in a car wreck.
Yeah, that's right. Darren Rabbit.
And then his career was done because he was still ready to go play.
And a line drive base hit into right field. I'll take that any day than a walk.
You're right. Make him swing it.
And so he's aboard with the leadoff single here in the second, and Kevin Kuzmanov will be the hitter. Thursday, the 9th of July, the Mariners and the Rangers are going to meet in a pivotal American League West series, and why not consider donating your old cell phone and accessories to the Verizon Wireless Hope Line to support victims of domestic violence. Collection boxes will be stationed at all gates as well as guest service locations around Safeco Field throughout the game. Kuzmanov taking down low. Ball one. One ball and no strikes. Don't make a mistake on this guy. He can hit it a mile too.
Yeah, he hit one a long ways in San Diego. We've seen this kid. He's got big power. Hit 23 homers last year, so they know he's got thunder.
Two 2-0.
Numbers aren't very impressive, but he's got 18 of those RBIs in the month of June, so he's coming around and hitting nearly 300 on the road.
Well, not even close, so he's 3-0 on the hitter. Rob Johnson will run out and have a chat with him. As banged up as the Angels are, they slowed down Colorado last night. The Rockies had won 17 out of 18, and the Angels pulled it out. And they're leading the Rockies 3-0 in the second inning in Anaheim tonight. And on the inside corner, barely. 3-1. And a nice 96-mile-an-hour two-seamer that time.
Well, you can throw that kind of velocity and you can go down away on the outside corner like that, knee high. You're going to be pretty successful.
And it'll be out of play.
Seems like he slowed down a little bit. Rob Johnson went out and talked to him. He was rushing as soon as he went to the stretch. He started flying open. Now he seems to stay back a little bit, direct himself toward home plate. And last three pitches have been much, much better.
And just a piece. This upcoming road trip will tell the Mariners a lot about their year, because they're going to be playing the big boys with the Dodgers, the best record in baseball, and then the Yankees in their new ballpark, and then the Red Sox, the leaders in the East. And a fly ball popped again out of play off the right side.
Well, you're absolutely right. It's going to be a big test, and you know, you just have to go out there and try to hold serve on the road, and this is going to be the ultimate test. The good news is the Mariners seem to be getting a little bit healthier. Eric Bedard returning on the road, hopefully in New York. Jose Lopez returning to the team, you know, leads the team in RBIs, very important. So some of these injury things and some of the other issues hopefully are coming back together for the team a little bit stronger as they go out on the road.
Again, 3-2. And a fly ball to left field. And deep and gone. Baby, he got all of that one. Mercy. So Kevin Kuzminoff, his 10th home run, and just like that, it is 2-0 San Diego. Little doubt about that one. Kuzminoff now has 40 RBIs.
You talk about not giving in, and Morrow just kept trying to pound away on the outside corner. You know, the league's hitting 200 off of Morrow. He's saying, here I am. And Kevin Kuzminoff, he hits fastballs for breakfast. He loves them. And that ball drifted back center cut, and boy, it's a long ways out there over
the scoreboard. Yeah. And that's a strike to the left-handed batting Chase Headley, who's a switch hitter, but he's up there left-handed, obviously. 414 feet. They're guesstimating that ball.
Morrow throws a four-seam fastball, and his life is up in the strike zone. But when you're in a position where you're trying to go 3-2, you don't want to walk, and you don't have a two-seam fastball, and the ball gets pretty straight downstairs.
And now he has the advantage. Let's see if he can't put Headley away.
Good breaking ball right there to get to 0-2.
And fastball high. Low and inside. Took a little off that time.
Yeah, slider. That was the kind of that front door slider that he struck Gwynn out in the first inning. Tried that spot again. Headley wasn't offering.
And a fly ball to fairly deep left field again, but still on the grass out there. To make the catch is Valentin. That's the first out here in the second inning. And Will Venable, a left-handed batting right fielder, will be the hitter.
Padres are pretty excited about Mr. Venable, a great athlete. Played both basketball and baseball at Princeton, scored over 1,000 points at Princeton. Of course, his dad was an ex-major leaguer.
Played for Jet. Who did he play for? Scott Bradley? Princeton?
I would think so, yes.
2-0 the count. That's a 90-mile-an-hour changeup, friends, if you can believe it.
A lot of us, that's a fastball, Dave.
That's true. Most of us.
Yeah. That was a good pitch on 2-0, though. Really had him out in front. And you can see when he gets the count and he's able to establish another pitch. You saw Headley in a very defensive position in a fly ball. Now a count in the opposite direction. Venable's going to gear up. Changeup.
And Branyan was wanting to throw the ball to Morrow, but Morrow wasn't sprinting over there. And so Russell said, man, I better get it in gear, and went to the bag. Watch him.
See the ball in play, and Branyan's playing off the base. He's getting ready to toss. You got to hustle it up a little bit. Those are the kind of things to get everybody out early in the afternoon tomorrow, Dave.
Absolutely.
A little PFP reminder. We love
Maybe
so
not
much.
tomorrow since the day game.
Oh, you know what I mean. I meant that.
I know exactly what
figuratively.
This is Eliezer Alfonso, the catcher, and he's taken a strike and chased the ball in the dirt.
Yeah, there's whispers going around with all the guys, all the pitchers. Like, did you see that? What do you think that's going to mean?
That's a $50 fine in court, kangaroo court.
Yeah, Judge Mo Money. He just went to his book, didn't he?
Absolutely.
That's Ken Griffey had the moniker. He had his name on there, Judge Mo Money. Classic. He's been terrific down there. He really has. He's really just taken to that role and been a big reason. He and along with Mike Sweeney, the success of this team.
Up and in that time. 1-2. And Morrow's beginning to get in that syndrome we were talking about of not changing his speeds enough. 96, 97, 95, 96, 97. And his secondary pitches are, and that one again at 89, a nice slider. That's maybe the best pitch he's thrown in this sequence.
Yeah, that had good tilt on it. You know, I think about that New York game. You remember that game last year,
yes.
Dave? And he came up from Tacoma. And you know what he showed us? He showed us a curveball. And that was slower. And I think that's a pitch that would complement his fastball better than as you said, pitches that are high velocity so close together.
And he blew him down there with a 99-mile-an-hour fastball.
Or you can do that.
Even you can't hit that. 2-run home run by Kevin Kuzmanov, and the Padres lead it 2-0. And tonight from Safeco Field, Seattle Mariners baseball on FSN is brought to you by Sterling Savings Bank, now more than ever. And by Les Schwab, celebrating over 50 years of pride in performance. Moving into the bottom half of the second inning, Unieski Betancourt taking a delivery a little bit outside, ball one. 1 ball and no strikes on Uni, to be followed by Rob Johnson and then Ronnie Cedeno. And that sinker at the knees. Jose Lopez was to have landed around 5 o'clock this evening, and I don't think they've activated him. I haven't seen him in the dugout yet, but I think he'll probably be in the lineup tomorrow, returning from the funeral of his sister in Venezuela. It's been a crazy week.
Unbelievable. And certainly our heart Hearts and well wishes go out to the Lopez family. I mean, it's just incredible. His brother dies in a motorcycle wreck, and then he loses his sister to cancer.
Second sibling he's lost in 2 years.
Can't imagine how his parents must feel. It's just a real tragedy.
And off the end of the bat, a little looper's got a chance to drop, and it will. So Bencourt just kind of reached out and more or less guided that ball with his will onto the grass.
Off-speed pitch. Uni, who struggles at times with the ball away, able to stay back. And as you mentioned, Dave, just serve that puppy out there into short right center for a base hit.
And Rob Johnson, the catcher, will be the hitter. Taking a strike, Kenji Jojima is catching in Tacoma tonight, and Jojima will be joining the ball club on the road. Probably get back into action in New York against the Yankees.
Got a couple hits yesterday, I think.
Right.
Good news.
Two strikes and Rob.
And this is what you have to do with two strikes. You've really got to think away. I mean, if he's able to beat you in, you just have to try to fight it off. He doesn't have a big fastball. The problem yesterday, I mean, the guy had 93, 94 with a real tight, dark slider. This guy, he doesn't have that. So you just got to fight him off. Look the other way. Look soft.
Too high.
He'll show you that in there, but he's going to try to get you out on the outer half with something slower.
Got him. That's about his best heat, 88 miles an hour.
Watching him operate here, he goes right after Rob Johnson away with the fastball. We talk about his off-speed pitches, and what we've seen, Dave, so far is when he's been in fastball counts, he's gone soft, and when he's been in counts where you think it's off-speed time, he's gone fastball. Just a contrarian type of approach, and I think that's what you have to do when you don't have big velocity.
Ronnie Cedeno is the hitter now. San Diego, they're just beginning to get busy. This is the second game of 20 in a row for them. That will take them right up to the All-Star break. Down the right field line, and Gonzalez will watch it drift into the stands.
And really the big deal with the Padres is missing Jake Beebe.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And certainly their big, tall Princeton right-hander Chris Young, who's had shoulder problems, and you don't want to see those two guys when they're going good, and that's a real key for them. You think about Felix and Bedard for this club, how important they've been.
I think it's also going to be a souvenir. LSU knocking off Texas 11-4. Congratulations to the Tigers. Paul Manieri, head coach at LSU in Baton Rouge, the 6th national title. And a ground ball toward the hole and through on the left side. So Cedeno finds the hole.
Right fielder.
Pretty good at bat by Cedeno. He's fighting that ball away off, and Gear had his sinker kind of run back to Cedeno. Able to poke it right through the hole between third and short. Nice at bat. Bring up the best hitter in the American League with a couple guys on.
And Ichiro hit a fairly routine ground ball to second, beat it out to start off the ball game. And a ground ball toward the hole. He's done it again. Around third, here comes Betancourt. The throw is going to be in time to get him. Scott Hairston guns him out. I knew a good throw was going to get him, but it had to be on line, and it was.
Really good fundamentals by Scott Hairston. You see the ball in the hole by Ichiro. Hairston's not going to be playing very deep because Ichiro doesn't have a lot of power the other way. Throws right through the cutoff. Wow, close play at the plate. Randy Marsh says he gets the tag down. Betancourt sliding away from the tag. Tough to tell right there whether he nicked him. Here we get a good look at it, Dave.
Did he get him?
I
don't know.
If only the umpire had that view. It looked like, looked like he was in there, didn't it?
Yeah, it sure did. Russell Branyan takes down low. Same shot again. Another look. The swipe tag. There he is. His foot's on the plate. He's safe.
Yeah. In watching the play, I felt like he was safe. And boy, the replay proved it out. I think when the ball's offline, I think that takes the pressure off the umpire, you know. But instantaneous decisions, they mostly get them right.
Change. Snap throw to second base. Cedeno back there. The base hit by Ichiro, by the way, is 100th hit of the year in his 63rd game.
He's a machine.
Two and one.
A lot of changeups so far. That's what he's been going with Branyan. Showed him the fastball there and trying to throw that other pitch, the soft stuff, for strikes.
And his next pitch will already be his 50th. Down low. 3-1. Russell took that change, headed the bat a little bit out in front of it, pulled it down the right field line. He doesn't have a pitch that he can really challenge you with. 92, 93 mile an hour fastball.
He's just, he's just pitching backwards, trying to throw soft stuff in fastball counts and vice versa. And that's why his pitch count is going through the roof right now.
And a runner's going, and it's swung on, and a high fly ball hit deep to center field. That will fly away. Russell Branyan has hit a 3-run home run, his 18th of the year. Another one of those majestic shots. A towering high fly ball over the 405 sign in dead center field. Little doubt about that one. And the Mariners take the lead 3-2.
AT home run for the muscle. And I don't know that well, I can't say that I've never, but in today's game, I mean, he hits them as high as you'll ever see anybody. That low fastball, that's the danger zone. You get it down there with Russell, and he handles the ball down and can really lift that baseball with power. And he makes this ballpark look small, Dave.
He knew he got it, too. Kind of went into that home run trot. Admired that one for a second. Adrian Beltre fouls the pitch back. 418 feet. And a swing and a miss. If you keep track of such things, that had a hang time of 6.5 seconds. That's a pretty good punt.
I was going to say, maybe Ray Guy would probably be impressed, wouldn't he? Wasn't he the best ever, punter at Oakland?
And that's lined down the left field line for a base hit. That'll rattle around into the corner as Beltre will head for second with a double. And here comes Junior. I keep thinking back to that home run that Brandon hit in Baltimore, 450 feet. Center field.
That was almost up on the walkway there in right center field. And even though that's a small ballpark, that's a long ways out there.
Junior walked in the first inning. The appeal denied. Beltre did not miss first base. And Junior takes a strike. 1-1.
I was thinking about Baltimore and long home runs, and everybody remembers, Jay Buhner in '91. He hit that home run that went over the ambulances off the back wall in Yankee Stadium. The series before that, he hit one over the bullpen in Old Memorial Stadium in Baltimore.
Over the hedges,
as long as the one he hit in Yankee Stadium.
I remember it very well. And that's high. Only one man ever hit a home run out of Old Memorial Stadium. That was Frank Robinson. Down the left field line.
Makes some sense.
Only one man.
That's a long ways. That's a long ways. And of course, Junior's the only one that hit the warehouse, right?
Okay.
It wasn't in the game, but the only one to do it ever, right?
It was in the home run hitting contest, right? 93. Josh Banks is out there throwing now for the Padres. His pitch count really mounting up. And Josh Gear. Junior pulls it. Mariners leading it 3-2. A swap of home runs. A 2-run home run by Kuzminoff and a 3-run bolt by Russell Branyan.
And Dave, that's a really good news of this game. I mean, it's 3-2, but they are putting a lot of pressure on his pitch count, and that's been a problem for the Mariners. They haven't been able to chase starters early, and they're doing a pretty good job of pushing his pitch count up.
And in on the hands did he go. And he's punched out by the third base umpire, Angel Hernandez. So Junior is rung up. The Mariners will settle for the 3 here in the second. As we go to the third, they lead it 3-2. Five folks are here, and I'm sure that we shall find a winner here before too long. Time for our Aflac trivia question. Interesting question this evening. And I don't know if I know the answer, but we'll work on it. How did the Mets become the first National League team to record 3 sacrifice flies in 1 inning on this date in 2005?
Okay.
3 sac flies in 1 inning. Everett Cabrera is the hitter. The shortstop. All the way to the backstop, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Got to pitch to this kid. Had to be maybe a drop ball in there somewhere. Error.
I'm working on it.
And a strike on the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike on Cabrera. Crowd of around 20,000 or so here tonight on a lovely evening.
The Padres think a lot of this guy. He came all the way from A-ball and was off to a start here and broke a hamate bone in his hand. He stole 82 bases.
That's over the middle. And that's into center field. So he's 2 for 2 so far. Let's see if he's going to put his speed on display here. I would say probably.
He stole 2 bases last night.
So second, stole third.
Yep. And you think about the big ballpark they've got. I think the idea of these young players that can run a little bit, it makes a lot of sense for the Padres, much like the Mariners. The same kind of style and ballpark kind of dictates that a little bit.
Tony Gwynn can run well also. Cabrera will draw the throw. Got him that time.
It's good quick feet. Plus, what I like there is he held the ball. One of the best weapons you got if you can hold the ball. Lock the runner's legs up a little
bit. And there's a bunt in the air. Going to get an easy double play. How about that? 1 unassisted double play. I don't know if I have ever seen that. You see something every game that you think you've never seen. I just saw it. I've never seen a 1 unassisted double play.
And I trust you on that because I don't think I've seen that play.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That is unusual. And David Eckstein will be there. I'm sure it's happened many times, but I don't think I've ever seen it. So rare that I don't remember if I've ever seen it. Eckstein, a little inside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes, the count. And that's a strike. We've been clued that a similar play, a rare play like that, was the reason that the Mets had 3 sac flies in 1 inning 4 years ago on this date.
Got it figured out yet?
No. I'm not that smart. Want to ask me again?
No. I'm going to leave you alone. I'm over here noodling it right now.
And a fly ball hit to right field, and an easy play for Ichiro. And the unusual 1 unassisted double play here in the 3rd. We go to the bottom of the 3rd, still 3-2. Mariners. An unusual quirk in baseball has just occurred. The unusual one unassisted double play as Franklin Gutierrez takes a delivery low, ball one, 1 ball and no strikes. The count on him. One. Nice curveball that time. How good is the Mariner pitching? Well, let me put it this way. The Mariners are 500 ball club right now, 35-35, and they have been outscored by 22 runs this year. That's how good the pitching is. Coming into this game. And that's it fouled on the third base line. 267 runs for the Mariners. 289 runs for opponents.
Yeah, they've been lights out, and you've had a couple of missed turns by Bedard and some defections in the bullpen. Sean Kelly. I mean, it's impressive. You get all those guys back.
Sean's probably going to be back before the All-Star break too.
Yeah, he's on a great track. He's not even thinking about the rib cage. It seems to be way past that, just thinking about execution and getting his strength up.
To a simulated game yesterday as Gutierrez is the first out here in the third. Strikeout number 3, the answer to our Aflac trivia question, which is kind of a poser tonight. How did the Mets become the first National League team to record 3 sacrifice flies in 1 inning on this date? 4 years ago. Well, there was a sacrifice fly. Bernie Williams made an error on a sacrifice fly, and there was another sacrifice fly.
So something that was ruled a sacrifice fly that went back into play wasn't an out.
That's
allowed
right.
for the 3 of them to happen. You know, it had to be something quirky like that.
A couple of years ago on this date, something happened involving that pitch is hit just foul down the third baseline by Vladimir Valentin. Brian Runge bumped into Jerry Manuel during the Mets' 11-0 win at Shea last season. It didn't involve the Mariners. But Runge was eventually suspended for 1 game. You usually don't see umpires getting suspended for bumping into managers. It's the other way around.
Right.
And a fly ball by Valentin. Drop it all out there for Tony Gwynn Jr. 2 down.
Yeah, but they are a bit like the Supreme Court, though, aren't they? Really, truthfully, I mean, when we stink as players, we go to AAA. Right? Right? Okay. These guys, I mean, they're in for life, right?
Kind of like presidential decree, right?
Yep. Spoken like a player, right? No, I think they're terrific, and they're the best there is, but there is some truth to that. They're indentured, man. They're in there.
An interesting career, to say the least. It's not easy. You've always got somebody on your back. And that pitch is hit to deep left field by Uni. That baby's got a shot to go. It's going to be off the base of the wall. So Betancourt will coast into second base with his second hit. He now has a single and a double.
Betancourt's had a nice homestand. He's been pretty good since about the last week. Off-speed pitch. He was able to stay back just enough. Something up in the strike zone, and he pounds this ball. Hits just the top of the wall. Almost a home run, just inches from a home run. Settles for a double.
Rob Johnson, a strikeout victim last inning. And a ground ball to third. Kuzminoff will vacuum it up and throw him out. And we shall go to the fourth. Nothing doing here in the third. And after 3, Mariners leading it 3-2.
AT Rapid Rewind. We've seen some crazy plays here in Seattle at Safeco Field. Glad you could join us. Phil Krueger sitting in for Mike Flowers tonight. Russell Branyan continues to hit the long ball with plenty of hang time, just like he did last night.
Wow, and he hit some way high. I mean, we were talking about the hang time.
Yeah.
6.5 seconds. It'd make Ray Guy feel bad.
That's exactly right. It was 6'2 last night, 6'5 tonight. That's impressive and good for him. Boy, the Mariners wasted some opportunities that first inning. That was amazing.
Yeah, bases loaded, and to have a runner hit by a ball, that's pretty unusual. But the good news is they've made Gear throw a lot of pitches, and of course, Branyan's big home run has got him right back in the ball game.
Swing and a miss to the leadoff hitter, Scott Hairston. 3, 4, and 5 here for San Diego in the fourth. Scott popped out to the second baseman. Ronnie Cedeno, his first time up. Well, one of the things that you and I talked about before the game, Don Wakamatsu talked about it before the game, first pitch strikes for Brandon Morrow, critically important.
Yeah, just being able to get ahead and then establishing some other pitches, some secondary pitches, and then that opens the door to that big fastball up in the zone.
Here's the 0-2 to Hairston. Turns on it. Beltre makes the play. Adrian Beltre, another sparkling effort there. One down here in the fourth.
Morrow tries to climb the ladder, and Harrison just turns and hits a bullet. What the cat-like reflexes. Number 29 down there. Yeah, he's not too bad, even with a sore shoulder.
Yeah, I know. You can tell when he's running second on the double. One of the toughest guys in all of baseball. Adrian Beltre. One down here in the fourth inning. Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez with a base hit to right on a 3-2 pitch leading off the second inning. Big home run last night, a 2-run shot in the fourth. So take a look at Beltre's face after he catches this one. That's the shoulder that was operated on. He can get it out as well as, or better than anybody.
Hot stuff, tape, and attitude. That's Mr. Beltre.
Last year, shoulder operated on, I believe. And he had a wrist operation as well. And here he is back in 09.
And unwilling to sit down for very long.
Well, I remember when John McLaren was here last year, early last year, he said, you know, sometimes you tell him, hey, we need you to take a blow. He felt like it almost had to fight him to get him out of the lineup.
Straight jacket.
Yep. Jim Tracy.
Only hope.
Jim Tracy, who's the Rockies manager, spoke glowingly of Beltre when we were in Colorado recently. Morrow's run a 3-2 count to Gonzalez.
Gonzalez has really handled the ball in the inner half. I mean, he just smeared those two balls yesterday off of Olson on the inner half. You got to keep the ball away here.
Kuzmanov's on deck, and he can take you the other way. And he works a walk with one out here in the fourth.
Almost a Bonds-like event with him in the middle of the lineup. But the other guys, of course, you know, Kuzmanov and Headley, of course, Harrison, they're helping. But it is a bit like that. This guy's put up big damage with really nothing around it.
And you're talking about, in that same reference point, you're talking about getting 3 pitches maybe a night to hit.
Yeah. And not missing them.
Yeah. Kevin Kuzmanov, boy, he didn't miss a 3-2 pitch in the second with a man on. This one back up the middle. Betancourt scoops. Cedeno 1. There's 2. So Morrow gets out of it. Double play. Gets rid of 2 of the big boys in the San Diego lineup. This is beautifully done by Betancourt to Cedeno. They make it look like artistry. 3-2 Mariners.
you by Snoqualmie Casino, Seattle's premier entertainment and dining destination.
Back here at Safeco Field, beautiful night for baseball. As we were about to get the first pitch, it was very cloudy, but then the skies really opened up. The clouds blew away, and a lot of blue above. Here's Ronnie Cedeno, leads off in the bottom of the 4th inning. Cedeno, in his first time up, he broke an 0 for 18 with a base hit. Came around and scored on the Brennan 3-run homer. It'll be Cedeno, Ichiro, and Brennan here in the 4th. Fly ball right field. Will Venables right there, backing up, makes the play. One out here in the bottom of the 4th. Take a look at other action in the American League West. Diamondbacks trail the Rangers 2-1. Rangers and Angels start the day tied atop the American League West, and the Angels 6-0 on top of the Rockies in Colorado. Athletics in that Bay Area battle, losing to the Giants. College baseball, college World Series champion, the Tigers of LSU. And in some really big international news, the United States in soccer beat Spain 2-0. That is huge. Miracle on grass is what the New York Times is calling it. That Spanish team hasn't lost in about 4 years. It was a huge upset. Ichiro. Eckstein corrals it and throws him out. USA plays the winner of South Africa, Brazil, and that Confederation Cup coming up. That'll be on Sunday. Here comes Russell Brennan. He's had a great year, hasn't he?
Oh, terrific. And just a guy that's been dying to get a full-time opportunity, and boy, he's just run with it.
Take me back. Anybody that you played with or against it got a job like that. Here's a high fly ball, long run left fielder Hairston. Oh, he hit room and just couldn't get it, and no interference, says Angel Hernandez. Take a look at the home run, a 3-2 pitch, 2-1 second inning, Bill.
When you mess around with this guy downstairs, you're gonna have problems. And he got into a fastball count, and Brandon can lift that low fastball like, I mean, nobody, and hit it a mile and make ballparks like this ballpark look tiny.
Tell you what, and that's an accomplishment. This place is a big pitcher's ballpark. Hit a home run last night on a 1-1 pitch in the 8th inning. That one went to, I believe, right center field, and it was very high, and it wasn't deep in the stands, but it got out. 2 outs here in the 4th for Brennan.
I'm thinking about your question. I'm working on that guy that reminds me of Russell Brandon.
Yeah,
I haven't come up with that name quite yet.
You know, somebody had been bouncing around, and like Jack Zorincic down Wakamatsu. Hey, you're it, my man. You're it. Get out there, make it happen. After bouncing around, it's got to be. I don't imagine there's a whole bunch of guys in that category. Here's a pop-up left field. Hairston calls off his shortstop and makes the catch. Hopefully we'll have an answer before long. Before the game's over, we'll get you to come up with something. A 1-2-3 4th. Mariners hold a 3-2 lead thanks to Brandon's home run back in the 2nd inning.
Welcome back to Mariners Baseball on FSN. The Tracer is brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Mariners holding a 3-2 lead, top of the 5th. Here at Safeco Field. Middle game of a 3-game series. Back at you tomorrow, 1:41 pitch. Then the Mariners take off for Los Angeles to take on the Dodgers for 3, Yankees for 3, and the Boston Red Sox for 3. First pitch swinging, fouling off is Chase Headley, switch hitting DH tonight. Bill Kruger sitting in for Mike Blowers. Mike getting the night off, and the question we put to Bill: who can you liken to Russell Branyan in the start that Branyan's had this year? The ball club has given him carte blanche, faith, you're it. And Branyan's produced 18 home runs, 36 RBIs. You had a good answer.
Yeah, I thought of Mickey Tettleton, who had actually become a backup catcher in Oakland and had spent 3 or 4 years there of very little note, a lot of strikeouts, and then got over to Baltimore and got an opportunity to play. And Mr. Fruit Loops, he put some big years together in Baltimore and Detroit and became a very good RBI hitter.
Morrow missing, 2-2 to Chase Headley. Yeah, he was a guy that 4 or 5 year period, 34, 36, 37 home runs. 2-2, swing and a miss, and down goes Headley. Third strikeout for Morrow against 1 walk. 1 out here in the 5th. July 10th, Mariners host the Rangers, and the first 20,000 fans pick up the first of 2 classic Mariners TV commercial DVDs presented by FSN. This one-of-a-kind DVD consists of commercials produced from 1994 to 2002 and features some of the best of Edgar J. Jr. and more. Don't miss out, because these DVDs will not be sold in stores. For tickets, visit mariners.com/DVD. There's Will Venable, one of 2 Princetonians on this San Diego ball club. The other one, Chris Young, 6'10" right-hander who's on the DL.
Now, did you see Venable play basketball? He was a 1,000-point scorer.
I know it. I did. I was not doing a lot of. I was doing more Big East than I was doing Ivy League during that time. But I do remember him. Remember Chris Young was a little bit. I think a little bit after him. But
yep.
Young was a high player. As a basketball ball guy, now high post center, feed from the pass from up top in the key. Did a real nice job. 2-1 to Venable. He finds a hole, base hit.
Talking to Jim Lefevre, they think this kid, 6'2", 210, got a lot of tools and just hasn't played a lot of baseball. So I think there's a lot of upside there.
Well, he's smart. Anthropology major at Princeton. Let's take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA. Finish up with the Padres tomorrow. Dodgers, day off Monday. Yankees for 3 and the Red Sox for 3. You ever take a trip like that? Play 3 marquee heavyweights like that, 9 games?
Well, I'm sure back east, but not like try starting in L.A. and then jumping over to the other coast thanks to the unbalanced schedule.
A little flyover action, right?
Jeez. But it's going to be a big test. Big test.
That's why today and tomorrow are critically important. Mariners at 35 and 35 entering tonight. You'd like to come out 37-35, take your chances. See what happens. Eliezer Alfonso, the catcher, he struck out his first time.
Ball down the zone. Randy Marsh, he doesn't think too much of that ball down. Squeezed gear a couple of times, and now Morrow has not been able to get that pitch the last couple of at-bats.
I like that the former pitcher is sensitive to the pitcher not getting the low zone. I like that. Been there, right?
Yeah.
Been there. You can feel their pain.
You got to have a little change up here. You've had Blowers up here, and he's going to give you the the view of the day from the hitter's side. And a good one.
Breaking ball hit foul. Stays 1-2 to follow Elvis Cabrera.
Being able to get that slider over or get them to offer at it, and it just opens the door for the high fastball. That's what I think this guy can do really well. Show him something, spin something, and then climb that ladder.
What do you think of this, of them giving Morrow the opportunity to work his way into the rotation at this level as opposed to going down and then coming back up?
Well, I think it's a little unusual, but this guy's established as a big leaguer. Injuries kind of dictated the opportunity, and they've made it work. He's clearly more comfortable as a starter, in my opinion.
Time is called.
But, you know, it took a great bullpen to be able to pull it off. Know that you have depth of bullpen, that
I think that's
there
a
that
huge
can cover
factor.
games for you.
Jakubowskis is a good long guy out there, and he'll probably get the first call winning if and when that arises. Fouled off. They're talking about 95 pitches. Morrow, that pitch count climbing.
And he's going to be a high volume guy. That's just the style of pitcher he is. He's a strikeout pitcher. He's a high ball pitcher. So you're going to get a lot of foul balls, swings through, not a lot of balls put in the play early. That's just the style of pitcher he is. So it's going to be harder for him to get to a place where he can, qualify for a decision. Of course, he's right at the precipice here.
1 out, 1 on here in the 5th. Mariners have turned double plays in each of the last 2 innings. Ooh, that hitting. He's saying foul ball, got more bat. Bud Black coming out of the dugout. Bud Black coming out to talk to Randy Marsh. He's down below the knob.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though, when you're throwing 97 and all you do is kind of raise your hands and you're okay, I think you're dropping down in pain if that ball hits you in the hand, aren't you? I mean, this is obviously a discussion.
Boy, oh boy, Quest speed, a high speed pitch comparison.
That must have been a burp, the one for Josh Gear at 90 miles an hour.
Here. Quest high speed pitch. 97 over 90, and Bud Black saying, come on.
That's the ooh-la-la gun right there for Josh Gear.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Mariner great videos, the kilometer gun for Moyer.
Right.
A couple years ago. Had him thrown in the 90s.
Bud Black from Longview, Washington.
Yep.
Ball and 2 strikes. 8-hole hitting catcher, Eliezer Alfonso. That's a base hit. He went down, got a breaking ball, served it into left field. 2 on, 1 out. That was a good at bat.
Pretty good piece of hit. This guy's hit. I mean, he had 12 home runs a couple years ago for San Francisco. Ends up being able to be picked up as a free agent and hit pretty well in AAA and showed some prowess right there.
Here's a kid that's been impressive in just the game we saw last night and his first at bat this evening. Alvarez Cabrera had a hand injury, kept him out of action for the greater part of this early season. But he's got a good arm. He's a switch hitter, runs well.
Talking to Jim Lefebvre before the game, and we were talking about going back to the early days of the Mariners when I played in '91. Even before that, then Omar Vizquel came up to play shortstop, and the rest is history. But he says that Cabrera is far more advanced as an offensive player at the same age. Of course, Vizquel's instincts and hands were pretty unparalleled.
Up high from Morrow, 2-0. Cabrera batting 9th. Tony Gwynn Jr.'s on deck. Morrow gave up a 2-run homer to Kuzminoff. It was a no doubt about her back in the 2nd inning. Rick Adair coming out. That home run scattered some folks atop the out-of-town scoreboard in left center field.
You sit up there most of the time, you're pretty safe. You don't really have to be watching the game. The ball was launched.
They really got it. Chris Jakubowski is going to be your long man tonight. He's up and throwing as Morrow's at pitch number 77 coming up. Try to hold him to around 95 this evening is the plan.
I'll guarantee you Brandon Morrow is hungry to finish this and qualify.
Qualify for a W. Good call. Morrow's 0-3 overall, a 5.68 ERA as a starter, 0-0, 3.86. There's called strike and breaking ball, 2-1. Mariners had their 3-game winning streak ended last night, 9-7. They're down 9-1. Made a heck of a comeback. Swing and a miss. Oh, man. Spinning like a top. 2-2.
I don't think Cabrera's expecting on 2-1 a slider with Morrow's fastball being the number 9 hitter, and he was fooled badly. You're supposed to sit down the lineup, get all fastballs. You run like the wind, you're hitting 9.
He was geared
what are you doing?
He was geared up. 2-2. There it is.
That's why you stay down there at the 9 hole.
Swing and a miss by, actually fouled into the glove of Johnson. So 2 down.
Really good slider right here. After the first one, he really able to pull that seam down. Real dark, real tight, 85 mile an hour, and Cabrera beaten badly.
Morrow's 4th strikeout this evening. He's walked 1. Top of the order, Tony Gwynn Jr., who struck out. Second time up, tried to push a bunt past Morrow and towards the second baseman. Cedeno popped it up. Morrow caught it and then ran over to the first base bag and doubled up the runner, Cabrera. When you see a guy, particularly, here we are now with 80 pitches under his belt, and at this stage, this part of the game, that high a fastball, what's that tell you? That's anything special, or is there something maybe he's overthrowing, or?
Well, yeah, he looks like he's maybe forcing the ball a little bit, but what's been noticeable is how much better his breaking ball's got, and it's been very good. There was a really nice slider right there, and with the kind of velocity this guy has, with that nice easy motion, if he can get the changeup and the slider over the plate, it's going to be tough to handle.
1-1 with 2 on. Now he's got Gwynn 1-2. Strikeout away from, as Bill talked about, qualifying to be the winning pitcher.
And the nice thing is that those last couple of breaking balls, 84, 85 miles an hour, we saw him at 88, 89, a little too bunchy. Guys can kind of react hard and still maybe handle that pitch, but a little more space and speed, that's good.
Here's the 1-2. Line drive left field. Ballantine going to come up. Ballantine with 3 assists. That throw airmail too high. There's a throw down to second. They got a runner locked up and he's done. But San Diego ties the score on a Tony Gwynn RBI single to left. Venable scored. Alfonso was caught. 3-3 as we head to the middle of the 5th. the fans enjoying themselves here at Safeco Field. Dave Sims, Bill Kruger. Bill, you're on. You filling in for Mike. Rally Friday time. What do you have?
Well, I think this was pretty much an easy call. Someone shows up at least claiming to be 100 years old, and I think she gets rally fries every time she comes to the park. Well, sign or no sign.
There we go. Lindsay directing them to hold the sign up, and
that's Clarice.
And she's got a birthday coming up. She's got good seats too. I hope somebody's down there with a glove. Been a Mariner fan from day one. Beltre's going to lead it off. 4 generations of family there. That's impressive. Good showing.
And she's handling all the talk, the introductions there. She's got it down.
There's Beltre. Line drive caught by Kuzmanov. So she's coming up, Clarice coming up on 100 years old. How about that? Congratulations. She's going to pass them out. She is the matriarch. Going to make sure everybody gets theirs.
And she's directing traffic, too. I mean, she's earned the right.
I would say so. Congratulations. There you go. 100 years old. That is remarkable.
Yeah, she looks good.
Ken Griffey Jr. looks at a pitch outside. Jr.'s walked and struck out looking this evening. Jr. career home run number 619. It was also the Mariners' 5,000th franchise history. Another thing that was impressive, base hit, he tied with the career hit number 2,721, tied with Lou Gehrig, 52nd all time. He's got a 3-1 count, 1 out. They've been throwing him a lot of breaking balls and fastball counts.
Showed him a 73-mile-an-hour changeup on 2-0. Got the call on 3-0 with a fastball, came back with a 75-mile-an-hour changeup.
Don Gutierrez is on deck. Three-2 to Griffey. Old dribbler. Catcher jumps on it. Alfonso, 2 down. Well, this young man relies heavily on the change. He's not a big burner in terms of pumping it in there, but he's very effective with that change.
A very good changeup. Stays soft in fastball counts and vice versa. Give him a lot of credit for his moxie. He's had a pretty successful ascent through the minor league system. One of their top guys, and had a nice start last year in the big leagues, and is holding his own so far this year.
Retired 6 in a row. Breaking ball to Gutierrez. He got a base hit in the first inning. That was a ball that hit Beltre. Beltre made a heck of a play. Bases loaded. Sure ground ball, double play, and let it hit him. Gutierrez got credited for a base hit. Beltre was out 6 unassisted, but at least kept the inning alive.
That's a good point. As I thought about that, thinking that maybe he was just trying to deke the fielder, try to block his vision.
I think all of the above, because he was getting major props. Beltre did after that, after he came off the field from everybody in the dugout. The 0-2. Lifted to right field. Will Venable near the line, fair territory, makes the catch. So Josh Gears retired 7 in a row. He's got a 3-3 tie. The Padres having come back in the top of this inning. 100 years old, enjoying rally fries.
the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The Tracer system uses 3 cameras to track every pitch. With this tracking information, we can show you where the ball crosses the front plane of the plate. Our system is accurate to within 1 inch. We then take this data and convert it to our EQC Tracer graphic.
6th inning action from Safeco Field. Game 2 of a 3-game series. Padres and Mariners locked up at 3-3. Dave Sims, Bill Kruger sitting in for Mike Flowers tonight. New pitcher for the Mariners is Chris Jakubowskis. Brandon Morrow goes 5 innings. And he will not be involved in the decision. There are the numbers on Jakubowskis on the season.
And those are numbers that combine both starting and relieving. And Jakubowskis' ERA as a reliever in the low 2s, 2.25. He's been very good in the middle for this team. He's coming in and throwing strikes and has the ability to pitch through the lineup.
So Morrow goes 5 innings, throws 87 pitches, 57 for strikes. And he gave up a 2-out RBI to Tony Gwynn Jr. in the 5th. Here's Eckstein bouncing one to Uni. 1 out. And down here in the 6th, coming up tomorrow, finale of this series. Wade LeBlanc against Jared Washburn. Will tomorrow be the day Washburn gets some run support? I mean, he's due for one of these.
He's only due for what, 4 years?
Yeah. I mean,
support.
He's due for one of those, 5th inning 11-1 kind of deals,
Yeah, he's really been terrific this year. I think he's improved himself greatly. His ability to change speeds and use a sinker changeup a lot more. Been very good.
Scott Hairston, the hitter, the left fielder. You've been in that situation like Morrow was. You're 1 out away from 5 innings, qualifying for a W. It would go to the inning with a 3-2 lead, but he gives up a 2-out single to Gwynn. Ties the score. That was in the 5th inning.
Yeah, he'd hate to come out. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
I'll say no more.
I get you. You've been there
believe
before.
Me, I'd be in there pleading my case.
Yeah. Fouled off 1 and 2. Well, you hope that maybe next year at this time he'll be an established starter. He'll have X amount of starts under his belt, have a good spring training. Won't be an issue. He can go 115, 120 pitches.
I think the commitment, now is firm for this guy to be a starting pitcher. And he's going to have his ups and downs. And I think so far so good, in my opinion.
Off the fist, Cedeno trying to find it. Oh, what a play! Great adjustment by Ronnie Cedeno.
That's a real athletic play right there and a tough ball. You see Cedeno turn his numbers to home plate, going back on this jam shot. That is a difficult play and a terrific play by Cedeno using 2 hands to sort of freeze that ball in his glove. He's a shortstop. He's a great athlete. Going over to second base, and it's a big play.
Coors Light freeze cam. He made about 4 adjustments on that play.
Yep.
Well done. And here's the ever dangerous Adrian Gonzalez. Single to right, run scored in the 2nd. Walked and eliminated in a double play, on a double play in the 4th.
He got Jakubowskis down in San Diego. Jack was rolling right along and got a low thigh-high middle-in fastball that Gonzalez deposited in the right field seats. So as you can see, he's been pitching away and using off-speed so far.
The other thing, too, to consider is that Gonzalez, with the 24 home runs, Dr. Mark Grant, some of the San Diego guys, they figure about 14 or 15 have been opposite field.
Oh, yeah, I think he's got great power the other way. We've seen him do that here in this ballpark last year. So, yeah, he's real complete.
Turned him loose at 3-0.
And don't you think he's kind of a secret? Really?
Absolutely.
I think he's legit, and I'm sure the East Coast and the sort of marquee part of the game, they don't know much about this guy, and he's good.
Ground ball to Brennan. Flips over to Jakubowskis. That'll do it. Put him and Carlos Pena in that same category. They get it done with long balls all the time. 3-3 ball game. Taco Del Mar, home of the $4.99 Mondo Burrito. By Money Tree. At Money Tree, providing immediate cash for your business is our business. Apply for business loan at moneytreeinc.com. And by Lithia, a better card buying experience starts at lithia.com. Very pleasant night here at Safeco Field in Seattle. Leave Vladimir Ballantyne, Yuniesky Betancourt, and Rob Johnson here in the 6th against Josh Gear. Gear has retired 7 consecutive hitters. Last time anybody got aboard was a 2-out double by Betancourt in the 3rd. Broken bat pop-up. Backing up shortstop Cabrera. Should have seen the look Kuzminoff gave at the bat. It was right near the cutout. he identified the bat coming at him and then the pop-up, or maybe vice versa, but whatever. He was backing up and glad to be away from it.
That's a pretty nasty spear coming at you.
We were talking about that over dinner tonight. Man, that's scary.
The idea of more protection for fans down the lines.
Here. Good best at Goodyear with the Milwaukee Brewers, where they practice, and they have a netting that comes up and goes all the way down to the end of the respective dugouts on a triangular shape. So all those folks are shielded pretty well.
The maple bat. As long as that's in play, I think there's going to be more spears flying.
See it almost every night. Here's Uni working a 3-0 count. Mariners got their 3 runs in the 2nd inning. 3-run homer by Branyan. They left the bases loaded in the 1st inning. Uni a 4-pitch walk. So that's the first walk since the 3rd inning. 3rd total as we take a look at the Banner Bank building to the future. Michael Saunders with Tacoma. 44 games as an outfielder. Gets on base, doesn't he? 8 home runs. He struck out 31 times. 847 OPS. See if Rob Johnson can get something going. He's 0 for 2. Alfonso going to have to talk to his pitcher. Rob Johnson has struck out and grounded out to 3rd. Who was the best chit-chat catcher that you played with? Somebody comes out, he didn't mind him. I mean, you always hear the story about Gibson telling Tim McCarver, you don't know anything about pitching, get yourself back behind the plate.
Well, Charlie O'Brien was a name that probably doesn't resonate with a lot of people. But, you know, he caught 3 Cy Youngers in a row between Toronto.
Runner goes.
New York.
And Rob Johnson pops it up. Eckstein has a beat on it. Uni retreats. 2 down. So he caught Raleigh.
He caught Henkin and Clemens and Maddox.
Charlie's a good catcher, too. Played a long time.
Very good catcher. The best catcher I ever played with, and he could talk the game up.
Major League Baseball and People Magazine are recognizing Northwesterners Lara Davis, Leo McCarthy, and Sarah Slack as outstanding individuals who've made a difference in our community. It's your last chance to vote to send one of these community all-stars to represent the Mariners during the pregame ceremony at the 09 All-Star Game in St. Louis. Vote now. Mariners.com/people. 2 outs, runner on for Ronnie Cedeno. Hey, Charlie caught till he's about, what, 40, 41, right?
I don't know if he caught that long, but he caught for a long time. He just was a terrific receiver. He could throw, he could block. He had a great sense for when things changed with hitters. He could make adjustments and instilled a lot of confidence in pitchers. I just thought he was great. And, you know, the game has changed. I mean, offense has become such an important component for catchers that some of those skills don't get quite the attention they should. But, you know, on winning teams, they do. And on losing teams, they look at batting averages.
Veritek.
Yep.
Boston.
They'll live with this 200 average.
Absolutely.
Guy prepares like nobody's business. He is a partner with the pitcher.
Joe Mauer must be doing something right defensively. You know, he's absolute terror offensively.
Yeah, I think he's someone that wants to be the best. No question about it.
Pitch out, nothing to. Wow, that pitch out. Way. The catcher steps right and the ball goes left.
Well, he's got a lot of movement, and that ball sank back toward home plate.
Take a look at this.
Step out here for the pitch out. Whoa.
It's not what he had in mind.
Back into the strike zone.
Yeah. Breaking ball hit to the shortstop, Cabrera. Will go short way to Eckstein. Mariners are gone in the 6th. They get a man aboard. But that's it. 3-3 ball game. Seattle Mariners baseball on FSN is brought to you by Metropolitan Appliance, the only appliance store you'll ever need, now open on Sundays. And by Widmer, Ordinary Brothers Extraordinary Beer. There's Jakubowski's first pitch to Kevin Kuzminoff, in there for strike.
Got the good curveball going.
Yes, he does. Kuz hit a long home run off of Brandon Morrow, a 2-run shot in the 2nd inning. That gave San Diego 2-0 lead. Branyan countered with a 3-run homer in the bottom of that inning. And then San Diego tied it top of the 5th on an RBI by Tony Gwynn Jr. Breaking ball hit to Betancourt. 1 down.
Nice confidence. Come back 2-1, fastball count, and be able to get that curveball over. Big plane changer, change of speed. Makes that fastball look bigger. And kept a fastball hitter off the fastball, which is a really nice pitch right there.
Crowd on hand here tonight, 22,988. There's a drive to center field. Gutierrez, fabulous jump as usual. Right off the bat of Chase Headley DHing tonight, 2 outs. Jakubowski's right where doing what he did to establish himself in spring training, coming out just throwing strikes.
Yeah, real consistent. I think this role really suits him. I think he's capable of being a starter, but you know, this will allow him more opportunities to settle in as a big leaguer, understand better how to work a big league lineup and his stuff, because this guy's ascent outside of pitching in Nowheresville has been very fast. I mean, one real season of pitching before he got to the big leagues. So I think he's done a great job.
2 outs. Going against Will Venable is 1 for 2. Jakubowskis, first baseman at the University of Oklahoma, lost his hitting touch, encouraged to try pitching and bounce around some independent leagues. And this year, here he is in the bigs.
Talk about it never being over. It's never over.
It's true. 3-0. the strike.
I certainly can relate. I mean, I was a tryout guy that was a first baseman too. Really didn't concentrate on baseball, and stumbled into pitching and made it.
3-1 pitch, fouled back. How many years you wind up putting in?
Well, in the big leagues at 13 years.
Whew.
So
that's killing the average. That's outstanding.
Ran out of teams.
It's all right.
I couldn't make it to the next expansion. That was my problem.
3-2. And Venable strikes out. How about Jakubowski? 6 up, 6 down. Get him some runs. It's 3-3. By the Washington State Department of Labor and Industries and the Washington State Building and Construction Trades Council, reminding you that if you work safe, you're home safe. Home 7th here at Safeco. Beautiful night for baseball. Glad you are with us. Dave Sims, Bill Kruger for Mike Blowers tonight. Mariners got to get going. They have not had a hit over the last 3 innings plus. They had a double, a 2-out double back in the 3rd from Betancourt. Nothing since, just 1 base runner in that time. As we look at Mike Adams warming up. There are the numbers on Mike Adams. This will be his 7th game. ERA just under 4. Opponents hitting .222 against him.
Yeah, this guy had a torn labrum, had surgery in the offseason, was one of their better relievers last year. In fact, the league only hit .209. Right-handers 190. Had the torn labrum. Went through a minor league stint. He's back. He's pitched a few innings, and an important guy in their bullpen. Big fastball slider, power guys coming right at you.
He will face top of the order. Ichiro, Branyan, and Beltre here in the 7th. Josh Gear goes 6 innings, 3 runs all earned, 8 hits, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 108 pitches, 66 for strikes. Ichiro tonight, infield hit, base hit to left, ground out, 2 for 3 with a run scored. Our Nissan shift to the bullpen brings us Mike Adams. Kuzminoff way in at 3rd. Adams, a big guy at 6'5", 204, is out of Corpus Christi, Texas. Lives in Sinton, Texas. Two and 0 to Ichiro, leading off the 7th.
He's pretty good size, but that Kyle Blanks, now that's a big human playing baseball.
6'6", 285 is what they listed. Just called up. Here's a drive to center field. Tony Gwynn Jr.'s right there. 1 out. Yeah, Kyle Blanks just called up. ran down the baselines very quickly last night. Tomorrow, the Mariners and Padres, they close out this interleague play at Safeco Field. A U.S. Bank Mariners matinee. Special afternoon start time, folks, at 1:40. So get your tickets at mariners.com. Day baseball midweek. Love it. I remember the first day game midweek I went to as a kid. I couldn't have been more than 12 or 13 years old. I think it was some kind of holiday or something. It was really cool. And get to go on your own. It was great. Day baseball in the middle of the week.
Would this have been in Philly?
Yes, sir. Several moons ago.
I grew up in Chicago, where we had the Cubs, and it was cable before cable. And I remember coming home at lunch and him and Han. And every once in a while, my mom would go, come on. We'll go downstairs and watch the Cubs.
That's not bad.
Stay home.
Nice strike to Brandon. He's 0-2. Towering home run. Straightaway center field. Counting for all the Mariner runs back in the second inning. Strike 3 called, says Randy Marsh. Brannon's gone. Quick 2 outs here in the 7th. So 2 outs in the 7th for the Mariners. That'll bring up Adrian Beltre, Sue Bird, Lauren Jackson, and the Seattle Storm. They return to action Sunday night on FSN. Seattle taking a 2008 WNBA Player of the Year, Lisa Leslie, and the LA Sparks. Coverage tips off 9 p.m. right here on FSN. Good matchup. Lisa Leslie going to hang it up after this season. She's had a fabulous career. A couple of Olympic gold medals, a couple of WNBA titles. Beltre tonight has walked, doubled, and lined out the third. Base hit for Beltre. Boy, he's finding that eye again. That's 2 balls he's smoked tonight. And there's Beltre. And his biggest fan, he had red there. He's here at the ball game. He was on the road in Colorado. He is Beltre's by far biggest fan. He's even had that life-size bobblehead here last year. See if Griffey can get something going here. 2 outs, runner on. Called strike.
Guy looks just like Pete Ladd. Of course, probably don't know who Bigfoot Pete Ladd.
I do. That name does ring a bell. Yeah.
He looked big, redheaded guy, about 6'6", about 275. Was effective reliever in the early run with the Brewers, a Brew Crew. He was my teammate at one point. Just like that guy.
Firestone leaderboard, most career home runs in interleague play. Junior 1 away from tying Jim Thome. Good list there. Thome, Griffey Jr., Delgado, and Ramirez. As in Manny, who the Mariners are going to miss on this trip to Los Angeles. Manny comes back to the Bigs on July 3 against San Diego. An 0-1 count to Junior. Shift is on per usual. Shortstop Cabrera and Eckstein on the right side.
The governor came out for Manny's game.
Down in New Mexico, yeah. Went with the Isotopes last night. I believe Manny went 1-0 for 2. I think a ground out and a strikeout.
That's a good baseball town. You know, the Dodgers have been there for a long time, went away and then came back. And I played a year and a half there. And it's a terrific baseball town.
1-1 to Junior. Get the hold off. The only time I was there was NCAA tournament about 4 years ago. West Virginia lost a heartbreaking regional final to Louisville.
At the pit.
Yeah, remember that? For Jim Valvano, and NC State won back in '83. 2-1. Count evens on Junior. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a runner on. Mariners need a run. 3-3 ball game. soft stuff here?
That's been the story so far tonight. This guy here, though, is more of a power guy, so we'll see.
2-2, runner goes. Lifted to left. Hairston has it right in front of him, makes the catch, and the Mariners are gone here in the 7th. Get a runner on again, can't get him home. 3-3 game.
Mariners baseball on FSN is brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Get ready to rock with Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo July 17th and 18th. For tickets, go to emeraldqueen.com.
3-3, Padres and the Mariners. Middle game of a 3-game set. Top of the 8th inning coming up. The little youngster's having a good time, he and his pals. Probably his brother. Good to have them here, part of the 22,988. Very comfortable evening here at Safeco Field.
Load them up on sugar and then try to get them back to sleep when you get home. Man.
And keep your fingers crossed, right?
Good luck.
Third pitcher of the night is Sean White after Jakubowskis threw 2 strong innings, 6 up, 6 down. Sean White has been stellar all season. Will face 8-9-1 in the San Diego lineup. Starting off with Eliezer Alfonso, the catcher. 195 opponent's batting average. Look at that ERA, 1.83, part of a great bullpen. What have you seen as the big difference for White this year?
Well, obviously confidence. But I saw an increase in his velocity and a real commitment to the sinker. He's just a different guy. He just seemed like a betweener. The last couple of years we've seen him, and boy, I saw him in spring training, and velocity and the depth of the sinker were so much better. And I said, wow, this guy's better. And sure enough, it's played itself out, hasn't it?
That it has. Alfonso with a base hit his last time up. 1 for 2. Foul ball down to third. That's a good looking baby there. Mariner gear and everything, and a happy little guy as well. It plays to the camera, shows his best side. 2-2. Broken bat, ground ball, backhand uni. Strong throw to retire the San Diego catcher, 1 down. So Mariner relief pitchers now retired 7 in a row.
Here we see Alfonso hitting the ball in the hole. Betancourt, real soft hands, knows he's got time, sets himself up and makes a terrific throw. And the big problem Betancourt's been having, he's had a lot of problems with throwing. There he set himself up and really got on top of the baseball. Good throw. Nice play.
Here's Cabrera, base hit to center and a strikeout. Look out. Scattered his teammates in the dugout. Padres
running slap right there.
Yeah, seen that. Could be very effective. Switch hitter. Padres 15 back of the Dodgers in the National League West. Bounced up and hit Rob Johnson. Got some teams entering today that were on the cool side. The Yankees had lost 3 in a row entering today. Texas 5 in a row they'd lost. Milwaukee had lost 4 in a row. Pittsburgh had lost 5 in a row. When you were playing, what qualified as the dog days of the season? You getting like right after the All-Star break, maybe a week or so after that, or was that strictly August?
I think you kind of get into that in that late July and into August. The weather heats up.
It's played by Ballantine.
Pitchers get tired, and combination of the two is
Travel catches up.
Yep.
It's played by Ballantine. 2 down here in the 8th inning. Top of the order, Tony Gwynn Jr. Talked to Little T last week when we were in San Diego. Delightful kid. You get up close and you look at him, he says, "Yep, I can tell who your father is." And then you listen to him, you can hear some of the same cadence and some of the same tone. It's amazing. Nice young man.
It's worked out beautifully. I'm sure the Gwynns are just thrilled to have their son playing at home, and hopefully it's not too much pressure for him. He seems like a pretty confident kid. He's got his feet wet in another organization, so
and that's
maybe
precisely,
it's not quite as much pressure.
That's precisely the point. I asked him that very same thing. I mean, you know, you're son of a Hall of Famer playing in his town, but the fact that very thing that you talked about, that he was in Milwaukee prior, and he's been around. He grew up around the San Diego scene, so everybody knows him. And now he's proven himself, and he's doing a heck of a job here. He's 0-2 to Sean White. But seemed like a real balanced kid, too, you know. Angel Hernandez said he did not go.
Pretty good player traded for him, Joey Garrett. So clearly a player that the Padres have coveted, and they're trying to get more speed. That's clear in that big ballpark.
And the Padres without Jake Peavy and Chris Young on the DL with injuries. Take top 2 pitchers out of any organization, you're going to be hurting. Bud Black credit, they have very little pop, and he's 31 and 38. That's pretty good. When you put all that, you factor all that in.
And everything about what's happened in San Diego with
Chris Young.
John Moore's the owner, selling the club and dropping the payroll by $30 million. Really kind of a rocky scene down there for really a well-run organization from top to bottom. Kevin Tower, one of the great GMs in the game.
Yeah, and they're not a team that, you know, that has a whole bunch of marquee stars or anything. I had a friend today said, you know, you could line up the San Diego Padres in uniform, put them on What's My Line, and still stump the panel.
So very true. So very true.
Give credit to Doug Kelly at Sacramento for that line. He broke me up today when he told me that, but it's a good one. It is a good one. Two outs, a full count.
Unfortunately, Dave, some of our audience just are still going, "What's my line? What is that?"
To which I say, Google it.
There you go.
Google it when in doubt. The 2-2. Beltre will take a look. He makes this play so well. It's unbelievable, man. That size, fabulous athleticism, can go back like that. Most third basemen can't do that type of play.
No, he's brilliant on that ball over the shoulder. I mean, there aren't too many things that he can't do over there. And the more degree of difficulty you put on it, the better he is. The ball, on the run coming in. Wow, nobody makes that play like he does. Maybe rolling.
Maybe. And watch this. He does his civic duty too. Whoa! He holds on to the youngster. That's some shot he put on him. Only guy get on TV, and no harm, no foul. So he didn't get a baseball, but he really got up close and personal with Adrian Beltre.
Yes, he did. Dad and son there, I think. Look like it.
10 pitch at bat so far. I'd agree with that. Boy, this is some battle.
Stay right with that heavy sinker. I mean, every time he hits that, it just doesn't feel very good. It's like trying to hit a bowling ball. Gong.
And he's working right above his hands. Two. Now full count.
Showed him something different there after a pretty heavy dose of 90+ mile-an-hour sinkers. He showed him the slider in, but you're going back right out on that outer half with that sinker.
Lost it. 13 pitch at bat. 2 outs, 8th inning, runner on. He's got some speed. David Eckstein coming up. Hey kids, following the Mariners-Rangers game on Sunday, July 12th, it's your first chance this season to run the bases like the Mariners, thanks to Key Bank. For tickets, visit mariners.com. Some big games coming up with the Rangers, who are 5-0 against the Mariners thus far.
Hard times for the Rangers, though. They've been scuffling. Hitting a little just above the Mendoza for the month of June, and their pitching starting to wear down a little bit. So the big Caballo, the big horse, Hamilton on the DL. So they're being tested right now. The Rangers.
They win 2-1 at Arizona this evening. That ends a 5-game losing streak. Angels 9-1 at home against Colorado in the 7th. Here's Eckstein. Good spot here for Gwynn to do some motoring. He's 2 for 5 in base stealing. Rob Johnson has thrown out 8 of 29 would-be base stealers. It's called strike to Eckstein. 0-1.
Eckstein can handle the bat, so he's can easily go to 2 strikes if he can create an opportunity for Gwynn to run.
Good lead for Gwynn. Line drive, base hit. So first and second, Gwynn takes a look. Ballantine gets to it, gets it back in. So 2 outs, and Padres got something brewing here.
We see this ball middle in. Eckstein sits on top of the plate, really likes the ball inside, really pulls his hands inside and hammers that ball in the hole.
Eckstein with 3 hits last night, 1 tonight. Scott Hairston to be followed by Adrian Gonzalez. So that is really important. They get this guy right here. Hairston's 0 for 3 tonight. Hairston back from recent stint on the DL.
Just got back in the lineup.
Yep.
Yesterday got a couple of hits, and as you can see by the season's numbers, this guy is an important part of their lineup.
Scott Hairston was in center field yesterday. Picked up 2 hits on 2 for 5.
Spent some time in the Diamondback organization. Came over in a trade for a pretty unknown player. So the Padres have really scored in picking up this young man.
Inside from Sean White. Walk the Gwynn and the base hit by Eckstein. The first base runners allowed by the Mariner relief corps. Jakubowskis pitched a perfect 2 innings, and then White retired the first 2 men that he faced.
If there's been one hang-up, and that's just been control a little bit for Sean. He's had some walks. It's been obviously much better of late. Early in the season, he had some walk problems, and a lot of it's because he's got a lot of movement on his fastball, which makes him so tough to hit.
That one way upstairs. Now he's 2-0. And again, he's got the ever dangerous Adrian Gonzalez on deck.
And from the left side, the cupboard's bare. This is a right-handed. We're going to pound you with our right-handed guys. So important batter right here.
Popped up. Looks playable. Beltre coming in. Takes charge. Inning over. Boy, did they need that. They do not have to face Gonzalez with guys on base. Score remains tied at 3-3. Baseball on FSN is brought to you by Banner Bank. Better ideas, better banking. Delighted to have you with us here at Safeco Field. Middle game, 3-game series with the Padres. Dave Sims and Bill Kruger from Mike Flowers tonight. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners trying to make some hay here in the 8th inning. Gutierrez, Valentin, and Betancourt, 5, 6, and 7. They'll go against Edward Mujica. So Mujica a couple times last week in San Diego. He pitched 2/3 of an inning last night of scoreless ball. Game number 33.
Again, just, a great job of scouting, Kevin Tower and his staff, to get this guy for a player to be named from Cleveland, who just made a deal to just get pitching in their bullpen. So Mujica doing a great job. Had a 15-inning scoreless streak this year. He's been a mainstay in their bullpen. Big fastball slider. Going to come right at you.
Padre pitching has done a number on the Mariners hitting. The Mariners had two hits in the first inning. Left 3 men on. Scored 3 runs on 5 hits thanks to the Branyan 3-run homer. That's in the second. Since then, 2 hits. Two hits, a double in the third by Betancourt. And last inning, the 7th, a Beltre 2-out single. And 1 other base runner. That was on a walk to Betancourt in the 6th. That's it.
Long streak of silence after something that looked pretty promising early. I think that bases loaded kind of kick away was a big deal. Branyan's home run is the savior in this ball game so far.
There's a drive to deep left field. Hairston gonna watch this one. Get out of here! Oh baby! Home run, Gutierrez! 2-0 pitch. He crushed it. His 7th home run. His 25th RBI. And that's his 4th home run against San Diego. Amazing.
Something about them Padres. Frank Gutierrez, he had a count in his favor. High fastball. And boy, he gets the barrel out there pretty good, doesn't he? Alan Cockrell talking about this guy's ability to stay back, you know, and not slide into the ball because he's got power. And boy, we've seen it.
Well, you got 385 feet worth here, Bill. That was smoked.
Yeah, that's no cheapie. That's a long ways when the air gets cool in this ballpark.
To be sure. Valentine's 0-2. We saw Gutierrez with 2 home runs against San Diego last Thursday. A couple of monster shots inside. David Ardsman now can really start throwing in earnest. Gutierrez also homered the first game. That was last Tuesday. It's 4 home runs a week and change against San Diego. That might find room. It does. Base hit off the bat of Valentine on a 1-2 pitch. Coming up tomorrow, finale of this series. Wade LeBlanc goes against Jared Washburn.
Couple left-handers. LeBlanc more of a finesse guy. Washburn's kind of come right at you. And as we talked about, Dave, Wash just needs a few runs. That's all.
Yeah.
He's pitched as good as anybody in the league. I mean, as far as consistency is concerned.
See the Rangers 2-1 over the Diamondbacks. Here's Betancourt. 2 hits tonight, a walk. Kuzminoff. Eckstein wide throw. He did get him. Lance Barksdale said he did keep the foot on the bag long enough. So Betancourt down the line. He's hurt. That's not a good sign at all.
Oh, boy.
That's not good at all.
No.
So take a look at the play at second. A little bouncing ball. Kuzminoff was playing in a little short. Eckstein does a good job. Meanwhile, going down the first baseline, let's take a look. Kazuni always runs hard coming out of the box. Takes a look. Oh, boy, pulled it halfway. Oh, jeez.
Looked like maybe his calf, but
last thing,
the back of the knee. I don't know. It's hard to tell from here, but something like that, full speed like that, and you come up lame about halfway down the line. That's exit stage right.
Mm-hmm.
To the ice.
Chris Woodward, I believe, is ailing. It's going to be interesting to see what they do in the infield. They get Josh Wilson. They can put him in there. They can move Cedeno over to short. Not what the Mariners need when they're playing 500 ball. They just take the lead, trying to get San Diego, get a couple of games over 500, and then take off on this monster road trip.
Just so many players in and out of the lineup, and a critical piece. Betancourt's been playing much better baseball. Defensively, he's been rock solid. He's been a much more productive hitter, using the other side of the field. Boy, you just have to hope that this isn't anything too serious.
So Chris Woodward's going to go in. We'll take Betancourt's place. Back in the 6th inning. Let's revisit something here as Uni coming back. It's after Rob Johnson popped up and looked like he was having issues. Clearly was having issues there. So Rob Johnson, the hitter. Woodward's at first base with 1 out. Gutierrez is just homered. Mariners have a 4-3 lead, and David Ardsma cranking it up in the bullpen. There's Woody. Jose Lopez scheduled to be activated tomorrow. He came back earlier this evening after the death of his sister down in Venezuela, and send our thoughts and prayers to Jose and his family on that loss. Ball and 2 strikes to Rob Johnson. Rob's 0 for 4. Strikeout. Round at the third, pop up the second. One and 2. Bouncing ball. Step and throw, double play, inning over. 4-3 Mariners. Gutierrez gives them the lead. To the 9th we go. Ladies and gentlemen, David Aardsma coming on the DA as we go to the 9th. Here's All-Star balloting. It's heating up, to be sure. So make sure you vote for Ichiro and your favorite Mariners. Go to mariners.com/vote. Vote up to 25 times. You could win 4 tickets to an upcoming game in Safeco Field's All-Star Club, plus 2 autographed baseballs, one signed by Ichiro, the other by Junior Griffey. Vote now on mariners.com/vote. So Yuniesky Betancourt left the game, but here's where it really got hurt, I think he really got hurt. I don't think there's any question. Pop up, 6th inning, Uni had walked, pop up Johnson, and slamming on the brakes there, you could see where he hurt himself. And then watch what Adrian Gonzalez obviously said what happened. And Uni, tell him right there, that's where it hurts. Bobby Wilson shot that for us, and that's a great get. And hopefully Betancourt will not be out for any significant time. Well, here's your critical matchup right here. One of the best home run hitters in baseball against one of the hardest throwing and best closers right now in baseball. Aardsma against Gonzalez.
And Aardsma, of course, has been unbelievable this year. 14 out of 15 saves, second in the American League in ERA for relievers at 1.62. Yeah, he's been terrific, and he's not going to dodge Mr. Gonzalez. He's going to go right at him.
Aardsma, the 4th pitcher tonight for the Mariners. Sean White threw an inning, didn't give up a run. Here's Aardsma back with a strike, 2-1.
Aardsma just owns that outer half. Just pounds away at that corner. Great command.
2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Gonzalez tonight, single to right, a walk. Bounced out to Brandon at first base. Critical to get him. And he does! Strike 3 to Adrian Gonzalez. 1 down here in the 9th. Bill, that was huge.
Strength against strength. We talked about Ardsma wanting to go away with the heater. He didn't mess around. 5 straight fastballs, and he beats Gonzalez with a 96-mile-an-hour heater on the edge.
That's an important out. He is the focal point, Gonzalez, of this offensive attack. Kuzmanov's got some pop, too. He had a 2-run homer back in the second. His 10th home run. Gonzalez has 24 home runs.
And there you see the respect. Ardsma, who's throwing all fastballs, started Kuzmanov with a slider. Of course, came back fastball, but you're creating a little space for yourself by showing him something a little bit different.
Kuzmanov hit a laser shot home run, second inning. 2-run job over the out-of-town scoreboard, left center field. Ball and 2 strikes. Kevin Kuzmanov. Ardsma coming here working with John Wetland, Rick Adair. They found something, they fixed something, and he's been so consistent. 2-2.
Yeah, better velocity. I think the 1-inning full bore has been a better fit for him than having to pitch through the lineup in middle relief, which he did for most of the clubs he pitched in. And he's found his place.
3-2. Good fastball, fouled back. Right now, the Franklin Gutierrez leadoff homer on a 2-0 pitch in the bottom of the 8th inning is the difference. 4-3. Mariners lead. Three-2 to Kuzmanov. Line drive, Cedeno, and 1 hop throws him out, 2 down. So Brendan Morrow, he started. He will not figure in the decision. He went 5 innings. Jack Obauskas went 2. White went 1. Sean White stands to be the winner. Ardsma can close this out. Chase Headley DHing tonight, switch hitter, 0 for 3. Two and 0. Morrow started the season as a closer, didn't work out. Ardsma has taken over and has been brilliant. Popped up. That'll get out of play. Ardsma 14 out of 15 in save opportunities with 6 holds, an ERA bill of 1.62.
Yeah, he's been pretty much no fair.
Well, you want that out of your pen. Here's the 2-1. Popped up again. One strike away from a victory over the Padres. Here we go. 2-2. Up high, so a full count now to Chase Headley. 2 outs, nobody on. On deck, hitters Will Venable. Here we go. Bouncing ball foul. This is some at bat.
Strength against strength. Ardsma is going to go right at him with a heater. He's going to keep the ball away. He's going to have to try to take the ball the other way because he's not going to give him something he can pull.
Ardsma comes set. The 3-2 to Headley. Lost him. Tying runs aboard. Ardsma will have to go after Will Venable.
Headley's got 6 stolen bases this year, so he is a threat.
Venable's 0 for 1 career against David Ardsma. First pitch down low.
Randy Marsh has been consistent, not calling that low fastball, and that's really what you can ask for from an umpire, just a consistent strike zone. Hitters and pitchers alike.
Morrow, Jakubowskis, White, now Ardsma for the close. There's a strike. 1-1. Venable tonight 1 for 3. Base hit to right back in the 5th inning and scored on a Tony Gwynn Jr. RBI. Here's the 1-1 to Venable. Fouled off. Good pitch. Pitcher's pitch.
Just pounds the outside corner with the fastball. 95, 96, 97 miles an hour. Pretty difficult to do something with that. A well-located fastball with that kind of velocity.
Impressive. Ball and 2 strikes to Will Venable, right fielder, 7-hole for San Diego. The pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. David Ardsma comes in for the close. The Mariners win it by a count of 4-3. And your hitting hero tonight, Franklin Gutierrez, a lead-off homer in the 8th inning. Ardsma gets the close, his 15th. John White